YouTube community, Green Day fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we are here today to talk about the brand new Green Day album, Saviors. Here it is. We are now over 30 years deep into Green Day's career, life. This band has been around for a long time now. They've put out a lot of music, and I'll be honest, over the last 15 years or so, I've paid attention, but I haven't been like as in depth to the Green Day thing as I had been when I was a lot younger, like in high school, where I was obsessed with this band back in the day. And I was thinking about it. The last time I picked up a new Green Day album was when Warning came out, when that was new. So it's been a couple years. I did buy Shenanigans when that came out, but that was like a B-sides collection. Anyways, this album really caught my attention purely because social media did it. Like just watching their stuff pop up on my suggested things on Instagram because I wasn't following them on Instagram yet. And their sponsored content got me, so good job marketing. I heard bits and pieces of stuff on Spotify, like The American Dream is Killing Me and Look Ma No Brands. I thought, okay, these are pretty good. And the song that really caught my ear was Dilemma. That song really blew me away when I saw the little teaser clips they showed on Instagram. I was like, wow, all right, this is something that's really, I'm paying attention now. For the last 15 years, I've been in and out of the Green Day camp. After American Idiot came out, that album was massive and it was great for its time. There's a lot of great songs on that album still. But I got lost when like 21st Century Breakdown came out, and then I followed a little bit with Uno Dos Tre. Revolution Radio, I heard a few of those, and then Father of All. It wasn't really doing it for me much. So like I hadn't written Green Day off or something. I just realized that they're just doing their own thing and I'll come back when I feel like coming back. And this album has brought me back. I really have enjoyed this record. I know a lot of people have been kind of split on it, where some people legit love it, some people are like, it's just some of the same. And some people are saying it's up there with American Idiot and Dookie in terms of some of the greatest stuff they've ever done. It is an album I definitely feel deserves a listen. I feel like it deserves a fair chance. It definitely is world weary and optimistic at the same time. It's it's nostalgic, it's forward thinking. It's got a lot going on and it does play pretty cohesively. The album opens up with The American Dream is Killing Me, a song that's been around for a couple of years now. They've been playing it live for a while. And it's definitely got that big dramatic intro with the ringing out guitars and the thunderous drums before jumping into that real nice, tight Green Day feel that we know. And it's just a look at modern American politics and trying to figure out how to avoid all the BS to make your life and make your day fun because there could be a lot of crazy stuff in the news these days. There's certainly some questionable lyrics on this song, but it's got just enough hooks to feel fresh the whole way through, and it definitely kind of harkens to that American Idiot grandiose production that they were known for in the middle 2000s. Look Ma No Brains follows that one up, and this one's definitely really catchy. It definitely has a bit of a 90s feel with its immediacy, the way it just jumps in, and a super catchy chorus that moves along. There's some great bass on this song, and the cymbal work that Trey does, I think, is really cool. His offbeat kind of cymbal work, which is what he's pretty much known for. And one of the traits I think I'd say he'd be known for. As a drummer myself, I like what Trey does on the drums. Then you get Bobby Socks, which is one of the best Green Day songs I've ever heard, let alone from this record, but one of the best Green Day songs I've ever heard. When they just write something that's a little more simple and a little more just straight from the heart and not trying to be anything huge or poetic or granted they've written a lot of things that are poetic that do really work, but this song for me is just the bare bones emotion of when you are, I guess it puts the emphasis on like kind of when you're starting to have relationships, probably in high school, but it could be for any age. When you meet anybody and you've got those instant feelings of like, wow, like, do you want to be my girlfriend? Like, it just has that feeling of like, wow, I feel this really deep. Like, we can go to the movies, we can walk to the graveyard, we can do this, we can do that. Kind of putting a heavy emphasis on just the simplicity of wanting to be with that person. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you're doing, just being with that person. And the guitars are loud and crunchy. Trey does some awesome fills near the end. Billy Joe is screaming his ass off in the chorus. I really, really enjoy the rawness on Billy Joe's voice on this song. Yeah, easily one of the best Green Day songs I've ever heard. It's just fun. It's emotional. It's emotive. It's stoked. It's excited. It's also a little weary, and that's kind of what makes a good Green Day song. Having all those emotions kind of playing together. One Eyed Bastard follows that one up, and it's got this. We've all talked about the intro guitar riff to this song and how it kind of sounds like "So What" by Pink, but on the verses, it's got some cool piano and gang vocals and that familiar sort of guitar rock feel in the chorus. It kind of sounds a little bit like a jaunty pirate ship or something. But who is this song about? It's kind of catchy, but it's not my favorite thing I've ever heard. But then the next song, Dilemma, this is one of the best things I've ever heard from them. This really is one of the most open and honest and raw and pure songs they've ever released. It's just vulnerable and real, and you feel the wound, like you know, singing about addictions is never easy, but he makes this so easy to digest, I would say, because alcoholism or drugs or any sort of addiction could be a very complicated thing to understand or even try to talk about. And that chorus, like, I was sad, but now I'm drunk again. Like, it might sound simple, but there's a lot going on behind lyrics like that completely. The directness of it, I think, is what's so catching to my ears. The guitars, again, are really good and chunky and gritty, and Billy Joe just screaming on this thing works. When you have these more honest and, open wound type songs, they're just gonna work better. So that being said, Saviors does have two of my favorite Green Day songs ever, with Bobby Sox and Dilemma. If you pick up this record for any reason, at least check out those two songs. Up next is 1981, a song that's been in their live show for a few years now, and it's not bad. It's just kind of your standard run-of-the-mill kind of pop rock cliche song about throwing your fist in the air and headbanging like it's 1981. Nothing crazy. It's just kind of fun. And then Goodnight Adeline ends side one. Kind of a slow chugging song, good chorus, I like the vocal melody. It's pretty tame, but there's a nice payoff with that chorus. It's a good song. Side B opens up with Coma City. This song just does nothing for me. I've tried and it's just nothing. Just does nothing for me. Corvette Summer, as kind of cheesy as the lyrics are, I really dig this song a lot. I love that rock riff, the syncopated vocals that fall into it. It's just a fun rock song that works, and sometimes that's all you want. Susie Chapstick comes up next, and it's got some nice harmonies on this one. I can kind of see this filling in on Warning a little bit. It's pleasant enough, and it's not filler, but if it wasn't here, I wouldn't miss it, but it's nice to have here. I think it's Strange Days Are Here to Stay. I don't know, rhyming Avenue with Ballyhoo just doesn't work for me. It's just kind of a stretch with words like that. The chorus is catchy, but there's definitely meme references. Everyone's referenced, everything went to hell when Bowie died. That's been a meme for years. It's not my favorite thing. And then Living in the 20s, another kind of broadcast song, watching the news and seeing what's going on. Again, this doesn't really do anything for me. Father to His Son is a nice song, a good ballad, a good acoustic ballad, and they've always done really good ballads. And it's nice to have that on side two, because it definitely breaks up the kind of, I wouldn't say monotony, but it gets kind of samey after a while. So it's nice to have that on here. I feel like the impact of this song would be greater if there were less songs on this record overall. Then you get Saviors, the title track, and I do like the chorus on this one. It's absolutely catchy. It's decent. I like the cool reverb on the drums. The song does kind of go on, but I kind of like that feeling. The vocal melody is really nice too. And then Fancy Sauce. I actually really dig this song a lot. I like the build up to the chorus, the big dramatic production. You're the one that's crazy. That kind of stuff is cool. Good closer. I like that it jams out for a long time. That's a cool song. It's definitely a little bit of that sort of Dookie feel, I would say, in terms of like lyrically, world weary, you guys are the ones crazy. I'm not crazy. That kind of feeling. Overall, Saviors is a really good album, and I feel like it would be better. And again, this is just my opinion, so I'm just a guy on the internet. It doesn't matter what I have to say. But if I were putting out this album, I would take at least 5 songs off and have a really cohesive, solid 10-track album. I would take off Coma City, Strange Days, Living in the 20s, maybe even 1981, and really just condensing it to a really solid 10-song album and changing maybe a couple of words around because there are a couple of lyrics on this thing that are a little questionable. But on top of that, the production, it can be a little shiny at times, which has been kind of their thing for a handful of albums now. I would love to hear them just go into a garage with a cassette recorder, press record, and put out an album. That would be awesome. It's something just super raw. I think would be great at this point in their career, just to be like, hey, we can write a damn good album and record it on a cassette tape, and here you go. This is it. The thing is too, they've been a band for so long, and they've had multiple bands. This isn't just their only band. They have the Network and Foxfire Hot Tubs and whatever solo project either guy's doing. So there's a lot going on for Green Day in terms of writing songs, and they've written a lot of songs at this point, and a lot of songs we've never even heard before, stuff that's never been released. And they've played a million shows. Like, they are an established rock and roll band that is here to stay, and I think they're aware of their legacy. They're aware of what they put out. They're aware of their discography and what it means to people and the different generations of fans that have come and gone or have stayed the whole time. This is a band that's been around for a long time, which is just weird to say because, when I was a kid in the 90s, picking up Warning for the first time, they weren't that old of a band. Dookie was only 6 years old by that point. It wasn't that long ago. Now Dookie's 30 years old, and it's like, holy crap. Is this an album they should be proud of? I think so. Is it an improvement over Father of All? Yeah. Father of All is definitely an album that is its own animal, put it that way. So I kind of feel like you're comparing this record to Revolution Radio, which had a lot of good songs on it too, but I think time has been good to Green Day, and I think it will continue to be that way. They're not trying to sound like they're 20 years old. They're aware of what's going on at their age and their worldview. They're not trying to be, a young group of punks like a lot of bands are when they get into their 50s and 60s. They sometimes try to sound like they're younger than they are. It's like, just be your age. That's going to look way cooler. And that's what these guys are doing. They just look really cool. They sound good. They play well. There's a lot of great songs on this record, and like I said, there's like at least 10 songs on this thing that are really solid. And just from my own perspective, to pick up a Green Day album after years of not picking one up, it caught my ear. And that's never a bad thing. So, I'm going to give this thing probably a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7. The strong moments on this thing are really strong. Dilemma, Bobby Socks. I really like Look Mono Brains, Corvette Summer, Fancy Sauce. There's some great songs on this album. But the weak ones for me are just kind of weak. That's all. So Green Day, if you watch this, again, it's just my opinion. I'm just some guy on the internet. You guys are rock and roll stars. You can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah, it is an album I think they should be proud of, and I think it's an album that they're going to look back on 10 years from now and reflect warmly and fondly on this record. So with that, I'm going to say 6 or 7 out of 10, but I'm really curious to hear what you guys are going to say about it too. So here's the back cover. Nice classic black and white shots. My name is Giggens. This has been Green Day Saviors, out now. Really cool to review a new Green Day album, gotta admit. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you think about this new record, and what are your favorite Green Day albums? Put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.